Well, hello there. It is me, Coach Tanya LaShawn Bryant. I am a transformational coach. I teach women how to transform their lives through shifting their mindsets. I want to welcome you all to my dose of encouragement, where I provide encouragement, motivation, and inspiration to help you move forward, to begin to take the action and the steps to move forward, to live what? That abundant life. I believe wholeheartedly that we are on this earth to live the absolute fullness of life, to live that Zoe life, right? And so I'm excited to be on. Many of you know that I have been on a journey, a academic journey, where I am pursuing my Master of Social Work degree with a clinical emphasis. I will be graduating May 9th, and I am absolutely thrilled. Been doing lots of work around that because that's been a priority right now in my life. And so I am beginning to see the end. I am completing a goal, a huge goal that I set for myself, that I started in, what is it, 2024? I started it in 2021. And so I'm just absolutely thrilled to be able to be completing it. I started this in January of 20, was it 20? Yeah, 2021, because I was supposed to graduate fall of 23, but I moved it back. Many of you know I went to support my family, was a caretaker for a good 3 to 4 months, and still taking classes, but had to put my internship on hold. And so I am this term completing that and just developing as a therapist. And so I'm just really, really excited. I started this year off with kind of my theme. My theme was to know thyself, love thyself, heal thyself. That is paramount. I am so convinced that if we can begin to take the time to get to know us, to get to develop us, then we can begin to love thyself. Then we can begin to really walk in healing thyself. And so everything that I'm focusing in on this year is around this concept of know thyself, love thyself, heal thyself. And so I want to do something that's focusing around healing yourself. So, like I said, everything that I do is somehow going to hit either know thyself, love thyself, heal thyself. So, I want to focus in on this idea of healing thyself. We've been talking about knowing, and these things are fluid. So it's like, yes, even as you are getting to know thyself, you begin to open up this pathway to love yourself and to heal yourself. And so I want to focus in on healing thyself. And the way I want to do that, I want to talk about fear. Now, I really started my business, Abundant Life Living, off with focusing around fear. Things have pivoted, but fear really, I think fear at the heart of everything. Fear is at the heart of everything as it relates to you not moving forward, you not being your best self, you not being who you're supposed to be. We often get caught up in this fear. And so we've got to begin to heal ourselves from fear. So I thought over these next couple of weeks, many of you have know that I have written a book, and the name of that book is what we're going to be talking about for this next series. And my next series really is going to be becoming a fear overcomer, heal thyself. And so this, you can't. Let's see. This is my book, Becoming a Fear Overcomer, a guide for living an abundant life. And so I thought I would start going through each chapter and reading and talking about it. And if you're wanting to join me in reading it together, scrolling across the bottom of the screen is how you can order it. You can go to my link tree. Once you're there, it's at the very top link. You can go there to order the book. The book is only $20. If you order it directly from me, you can get a signed copy. If you order it, and it's also on Amazon, so you can order it through them. You just won't be able to get the signed copy. So I encourage you as we're going through, because I was thinking about, okay, well, what should I focus in on, for this next couple of series. We've been talking about affirmations, and using that tool of affirmation to really help you build up your mindset and build up who you are. So I thought, you know what? Why don't you just go through your book? Go through your book. You took the time. It was my very first book. There's many to come. I in my mind right now. I just haven't put it in pen. I have an idea of the next book that I want to do, and I think it'll be something around mindset, because that I'm very, very much into mindset. But I wanted to focus around becoming a fear overcomer, heal thyself. And before we even get into the book, let's talk about what heal means. And so you all know that I am very big on getting understanding and defining things. And so when we look up the word heal, or to kind of define what heal means to go through a process of recovery and repair, aiming to return to a state of health or peace. That's right. And so, one of the ways that we can begin to heal ourselves is through conquering fear, is through becoming a fear overcomer. When you begin to deal with the fear, when you begin to go through the process of healing, of eliminating certain aspects of fear in your life, and focusing on getting back to a whether it's spiritually, emotionally, physically. My assistant, AI assistant, kind of gave me some insight on this idea of heal. And so heal means to become well or healthy again after being sick or hurt. So I want you to think about, let's say you fell and you scraped your knee, you fell down, right? At first, it could be immensely, immensely painful. Um, it can become red. Might even begin to bleed a little based on how bad that scrape or that fall is um, on your knee. But over time, what happens is your body works together like a team and begins to fix the damage, right? There's parts of you, and you may begin to clean the wound, but your body even goes through that process of cleaning the wound, fighting off of any germs, and then it starts to repair the skin. And eventually that scrape heals, leaving your knee as good as new, or with maybe a small mark to remind you of what happened. See, many of us have a lot of wounds that maybe have not been properly healed because we have not gone through the process of recovery, the process of healing. Many of us need to be healed from fear. We need to begin to walk in the power that we have to overcome fear. And so I wanted, as I said, to begin to read my book on becoming a fear overcomer, a guide for living an abundant life. Now, This is a very short book. I only have like 9 chapters, but this is an active book. So it's not meant for you to read and put down and be done, but it's meant for you to read and then to implement. So let's start with the introduction. And so what I did in the book is each chapter has a quote. And the first, and in the introduction of this book, it states, I will not be paralyzed by fear. I'm going to say that again. I will not be paralyzed by fear. And I wasn't able to find the author of that. And I'm sure in some way, many of us may have thought that or said that. But again, it hit me. I will not be paralyzed by fear. I am not paralyzed by fear. I am not. And you know what? When I revise this book, I'm going to change it. Right, because sometimes when we think about I will not be paralyzed, that's saying that I'm not that thing. So I want to even change the language and say, I am not paralyzed by fear. I am not paralyzed by fear. Why? Because I am a fear overcomer. And so let me begin to read. Introduction. I will not be paralyzed by fear. In my research, I was unable to identify the original author of this declaration. However, many people have used some iteration of it in their writings to help others begin confronting fear in their lives. I will do the same, giving homage to the unknown person that wrote this powerful declaration. When I first read this declaration, and something inside of me automatically connected with the statement because I've struggled with fear all my life. Fear stopped me from embracing opportunities that I knew were meant for me to experience. How many of you have allowed fear to stop you from moving forward? For example, while in college, I had the opportunity to travel with Up with People, an international organization that unites countries, cultures, and communities to build an inclusive and sustainable world where people are equal in dignity and rights. However, because I allowed fear to control me, I declined the offer. I don't have regrets. However, I see this as a lost opportunity that could have potentially enhanced my life as a young adult. And so, just to stop there, the up with people, I they wanted me because I sung, you know, I one of the reasons I was afraid, I was a little heavier, right, than a lot of the people that were a part of the organization. And then the thought of me stopping school, and then I think I had to come up with money, but I could have used I think they offered me somewhat of a scholarship, but I also had financial aid. But because I hadn't experienced something like that, I let fear stop me. And I love, I'm an Air Force brat. So I have lived when I was a little girl, I lived in Spain. I actually used to be fluent in Spanish, but came back to the United States and lost it. I believe that before I leave this earth, I will be fluent again. And I believe I still am fluent. It's somewhere down in my subconscious. I just got to do the work and take the action to begin to be fluent because I am fluent. I just don't speak it because it's down inside of me and I've got to do the work. I've got to do the healing, right? I've got to get the knowing of me, knowing of that part that is fluent in Spanish. That part of me has to come up even the more so that I can begin to speak. At any rate, um, having grown up there, I went to high school. I lived in England, went to high school in England on the Air Force Base, graduated. So loved, you know, just interacting with all different types of people. So really, this Up for People thing was me, totally me, totally me. Again, I don't regret, but it was a lost opportunity. Why? Because I allowed fear. I allowed fear to hinder me from a path that I believe I was meant to walk in. Let's continue reading. Also, at the beginning of my college career, I chose to major in social work because of my desire to work with people. However, because I was afraid that I would become too involved with my clients, I decided against it. Now, 20 years later, life has brought me full circle, and this would actually be 23 years later. Life has brought me full circle because I'm currently preparing. I was preparing when I got ready to write this book to pursue my Master of Social Work degree, as I must do the work that my soul must have. Dr. Katie Cannon, who was a theologian, a scholar, a great woman of God who is no longer on the earth, she stated that we must do the work that our soul must have. So again, it's funny, as I'm reading this, I was preparing to start my master's program. As I'm reading this to you all, I am preparing to be done with it because I finally began to deal with that fear. I began to deal with that fear, and now I am on a path, right? And it's not so that I can be a social worker and be no, this is a part of what I'm supposed to do because of the opportunities, the education that I got, that I will continue to grow as I do the work that my soul must have. Now that I am older and wiser, I have made a quality decision that I will not be paralyzed, a decision not to be paralyzed by fear. When you are paralyzed, you become powerless, unable to move, unable to take action. If we let it, fear will stop us from living. So, how then do we become a fear overcomer? First, understand that overcoming fear is about breaking a cycle of unhealthy, habitual thinking that you have nurtured all your life. It will take time and personal discipline. On this journey, you will come to understand that we were not created to be dominated by fear. Fear is a learned emotion. We need to unlearn some behaviors that have been a part of our lives since birth, and then learn new behaviors and practices that can help us become fear overcomers. Second, you will need wisdom and understanding. These two power elements will be your guide to freedom. In the King James Bible, it states, wisdom is the principal thing, the first thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. Proverbs chapter 4, verse 7. Wisdom and understanding are foundational pillars and necessary tools in confronting and breaking the cycle of fear in your life. Simply put, wisdom is the what to do, and understanding is how to do it. Once you have the wisdom, understanding will give you the clarity on how to execute that wisdom to get your desired results. Third, once we receive the wisdom, the what to do, and understanding the how to do, we then need to begin to implement the strategies by taking action. Without taking action or in incorporating these strategies into our lives, the cycle of fear will continue to permeate our lives. Becoming a fear overcomer, a guide to living an abundant life, is designed to give you practical wisdom and understanding on how to confront fear in your life in order to begin living your abundant life. I am determined to embrace the God inspired opportunities and experiences presented to me, no matter how afraid I may be. To get us ready, I want you to repeat the following declaration: I am a fear overcomer. Say it again. I am a fear overcomer. As you boldly proclaim this declaration, begin to feel the power rising up within you. Are you ready? If so, open yourself to truth and transparency, which are the prerequisites for true growth. Now, let's begin the journey to confront the fear preventing you from living your abundant life. Special note: I will be using different resources, to help guide us during this journey. One vital resource I use is the Bible. I find this book is filled with wisdoms and truth and principles that have caused me to become the woman that I am today. Throughout the book, I will reference scriptures to help bring understanding. You may be thinking, I don't really rock with God like that, and that's okay. However, I'm here to tell you that there is something about the power of God in His Word. And when I lean into Him, I experience a sense of confidence and empowerment that allows me to deal with my fears. My hope is that as you read this book, you will have a similar experience. Also, I have summarized key points at the end of each chapter and also provided 3 questions for growth with journal lines that will allow you to answer questions for your continual study and to help you get into action. All right, let's get started. And then I summarize this section. Now, the 3 questions, and I probably should have, and maybe I'll do that in the next go round, in the next session, chapter 2. A question for growth. What is one fear you are determined to confront and why? So this can be your homework, right? So in the book, I have a place for you to begin to write this. So a question for growth. What is one fear you are determined to confront and why? Another question of growth. How do you deal with fear when it shows up in your life? And then the last question for growth. What is one step that you will take to break the cycle of fear in your life? That was the introduction of Becoming a Fear Overcomer, a guide for living an abundant life. You know, in order for us to heal ourselves, we've got to begin to look within ourselves, right? We've got to begin to conquer those fears as I conquered one of my fear, right? I was going to pursue social work 30 some years ago. But because of fear, I let it stop me. But I conquered my fear. And I am proud to say, in a month and some change, I will be finally graduating and walking into a part of my destiny. As I've walked through this journey of my MSW, my Master of Social Work program, it has brought healing. It has brought healing. It has brought healing to me. Because remember, I was going to pursue it, but I was afraid. It brought healing. One of the things that I wanted to even say, let's see, when my assistant brought up for me, okay, come on. So I have a new screen, and so my mouse, okay, there we go. So my assistant talked about share with you guys a little bit about this healing, what heal is. And so if we look here, heal means to go through a process of recovery and repair, aiming to return to a state of health and peace. I went through that process by pursuing my degree. It caused me to do the work that my soul may have. I'm returning to the state of health and peace. I believe me not pursuing that cause some hurt, right? Some damage to some degree in me because I wasn't doing what I love. And as I sit in my classes and as I work with clients, I think in the back of my mind, God, I love this. This is good. I mean, it's not even, it's just so fulfilling. I can't even articulate the words that I have with doing this work. So one of the things we talked about when I read earlier that my assistant had given me a definition or kind of just a description of healing as it relates to physical, but you can also also need to go through healing emotionally. And it says healing can also mean fixing emotional hurts or problems. So let's say you had an argument with someone that you love and you were furious, and it caused you to be sad and also upset. So healing in this case involves talking about your feelings, understanding what went wrong, and maybe finding a way to feel better. Maybe making up with that person or learning from that experience, right? So many of us need to go through these emotional healing. Many of us allowed fear to hinder us emotionally. I believe again with me not moving forward and doing up for people. And you know what? And even as I'm saying this, I believe God is such a God so good that he is going to give me an opportunity to where I can do something internationally again. That opportunity that came my way, I will get it again. I will get it again. And now I'm much wiser, right? I have life experience, but I'm going to get it again because I am going back and I'm healing myself, right? Because what are we talking about? Becoming a fear overcoming. Heal thyself. So I'm dealing with these fears that have been in my life. I'm confronting these fears. I'm doing the work. I'm taking the steps to begin to heal myself. So, again, in this first chapter, if you will, and next time I will write out, next week, I will write out the three guiding questions for growth. And so this week are questions for growth where what is one fear? I want you to think about this. What is one fear you are determined to confront and why? Second, I want you to think about how do you deal with fear when it shows up in your life? And then third, what's one step you will take to break that cycle of fear in your life? Maybe you know you need to go back to school. One step you can take is go research. Maybe you've already researched the next and you know what path you need to take. Go apply. That's the step. See, you've got to take actions to begin to break that cycle of fear in your life. I want to thank you all so much for joining. And again, if you are wanting to get the book, I want you to go to my link tree. It's scrolling across the bottom to get my book. When you go there, it's the very first link. Click it on, and you'll be able, it'll take you to where you need to go to order the book. It is only $20. It's time for you to become a fear overcomer and begin to deal with that fear in your life. All right. And so I will be on next week and we will go to chapter 1 because we did the introduction today. All right. Be blessed, be blessed, be blessed. Get your Fear Overcomer book today. Again, it's scrolling across the bottom. Go to Linktree or linktr.ee/coach TLB, Tanya LaShawn Bryant, to get your book today. I will see you next week. God bless you. Bye now.